Yeah. No, I've literally just got in.
Oh, bloody hell.
I do it for love.
Any excuse to drop the NHS card. You're not getting any more discounts.
Listen, Robbie, you know what I think about the NHS. So.
Do you know when you lift your glass up then?
I'm about to say, it's got right through, didn't it? Yeah.
You could see right up Finn's arse.
Right.
Behind you.
Hello, Ian.
Evening, all.
Hello, Ian.
We've got
sideways on wheels.
Oh no, the hair's in place now. All right, Andy.
Bonsoir.
Okay.
Yes.
yeah, smoochy person.
George said he is coming, so he saw Finn's arse as well.
Does he normally text you in the middle of coitus? How long did he say he was going to be, Robbie?
I just said that you coming on the pod. He went, yeah. So he didn't clarify. Hang on, NHS bankers waiting for you.
It's just you feel the love, didn't you? You feel the love. Are we good? We good, Andy?
Yeah, not too bad. Yeah, fed up with the cold.
Yeah, you should have your spandex on. Should be out on a bike. You'd love a bit of this, didn't you?
Oh no, yeah, it's just cold. You know, it's just out there's cold today. It's always cold.
Are you waiting for your delivery of your Daymart outfit?
My day march, yeah, absolutely, yeah. I do have a pair of long johns that I use for fishing and football at this time of year. I tell you that.
Yeah.
But that's all right for cycling, Chris. But it's just tiresome. The cold wind, it's tiresome.
You are a bit of a grumpy bugger, you know that, Andy.
Wouldn't like to go off brand.
We've scored after 13 seconds in the under 23s.
Oh, excellent.
Wow.
Lloyd Dawes. Good to see him.
Oh, is he playing? Excellent.
Yeah, he's playing under 23s tonight and he's got to go after 13 seconds.
How old is he? The under 23? Well, that doesn't matter. Didn't Sammy play for the under 23?
Yeah, you allowed 3 overage players.
Yeah, an overage player, yeah.
I didn't hear a roar out the window. I'm only 2 minutes away from the ground.
Well, they mentioned return from injury in the tweet. So, he's injured again then.
And Smithy doing the tweets.
They're quite good tweets, so probably.
Okay, right. We were waiting for Daddy Stone, but Daddy Stone's not here, neither is Carter. So we shall crack into this. Thank you very much, gentlemen, on what has been a tremendous week yet again. We're joined here by the windy one himself, Johnny Wills and his magnificent hair. The returning Ian. Hello, Ian. The flattest of white, Andy. A returning Robbie, who's not been on for a while. And, of course, George, he bangs the drum. Well, chaps, I think we need to kick into 600 games for Sammy Adams.
Oh, yeah.
Tremendous stuff. Game superfluous, really. Easy win. Who wants to kick into talk of the game, or actually cut that? George and Robbie, you did a presentation for Sammy, didn't you?
Louis. So obviously,
you didn't do the Sammy one?
No, we did for Louis because obviously his 100th appearance, obviously a little bit overshadowed by the great man that is Sammy. But obviously a lot of credit to Louis. I mean, a reliable keeper. Came in for Charlie Horlock when Charlie Horlock was popular. Made it on his own, and I can't think of anyone else as our number one now. Here's to 100 games and many more for him.
Yeah.
I wonder what his percentage of clean sheets and wins is over that 100 games.
Well, we can look into this. We might need to get McCrossan involved. Give James McCrossan a bit of a bell. He might have that statistics for us.
How didn't the stewards drag you off? You know, seeing the likes of you two there on the pitch. I was just wondering, you must have had...
They thought we were high players. We let our guard down. We're a bit too fit. And then we showed up. I was like, oh, well, okay, these guys can actually run.
I think one of them got tangled up in his mankini.
I wonder who that could be.
I don't know.
Yeah, we've got a story about him at the end of the game that we're going to talk about. That needs to be talked about because it could affect the attendance at Sittingbourne. So, but anyway, in terms of Hive, Robbie, George, you guys haven't been on for ages. Do you want to just crack into the game first of all?
Yeah,
I
why
will.
not? You want to do Giorgio?
Yeah, I feel like Hive over 2 games are the worst team he played. Really, I think that's fair.
Yep.
I don't think they've caused us any problems over 180 minutes. Our away game up there, I think it's fair to say that we were pretty bad, and we still won 3-0 away. And I don't really think we played any football after 60 minutes. Saturday, we just sort of eased off, and they caused us no threat still. So it's amazing they're as high in the table as they are. Really, pretty poor side. They're not. It's not. Things aren't going too well for them. Obviously, they feel a bit aggrieved about the penalty. It was a correct decision. To be fair, it was a penalty. Sammy's second goal. It genuinely was. I'm not even saying that just because I'm a Hastings fan. It was actually a penalty. You just get away with it week in, week out, but you can't lift your knee into a player like that. It's not on. Just because you won the ball doesn't mean that you can do that, as we know from on the field tackles with the players going in over the top and things like that. So it's good to see that actually given, and probably as he'd already had the ball, yellow card probably a fair result there. Yeah, it's easy. It's so comfortable, wasn't it? So comfortable.
Yeah.
I don't remember Louis having a save, did he? Not a big one.
I mean, they
don't remember.
They missed a couple of pretty decent chances, but their finishing was as bad as everything else about them. So,
yeah.
I don't remember him singing his song about him saving something the whole game, actually. No.
He must have been pretty cold.
Yeah.
Robbie, how do you feel about making a referee give a decision? I mean, it was all down to you, I think, mate.
He got an assist.
No, debatable, because obviously George and I recognised the ref for the game, and I think we actually mistook him for a different ref, because it turns out after the game he was the one that gave a decision against us at Craig Valley at home. So that's why I recognised him from. But we had a go at him, and I think it's all the liner that gave it, but I reckon without the fans behind the goal, we never would have got that penalty.
I think I was more pissed off than Robbie when it wasn't given initially. I was fuming.
Well, keepers union, you know, I'm a goalkeeper at heart. Keepers union.
That's exactly how you goalkeep as well.
It is. I can't say this. I'll just take you out.
The only difference between you and that keeper was that he caught the ball.
We're joined by Malcolm Stone as well. Hello, Malcolm.
Hello, Malcolm.
Hi, Malcolm.
All right, chap. Right, we're just starting on the Hive game. Andy, your thoughts?
Walking football comes to the pilot field was that's what it was. I think Laura pretty much almost fell asleep in the second half, sat next to me. Actually, it was. I think George was right about the 60-minute mark. Blimey, yeah, it was. I think because they gave us a reasonably good half a game in the first half at Hythe. So I went to that. The funny thing was we've had 2 controversial penalties, because we had that massive to-do at Hythe about the bloke who seemed to dive and sort of punch the ball away and claimed he'd headed it at Hythe, didn't he? And we got that penalty in the last minute of the first half. So they've had 2 quite interesting decisions against them.
Both fantastic.
Robbie was involved with that as well, wasn't he?
I was backing that lino up. They were criticising him. No, you're a great lino. Don't let them abuse. And have a fine line at Saturday. He's get good linos. I'm a fan of linos.
It's quite hard to pick anything except it was just absolutely pedestrian. One thing I would say, I think we'll all be part. I was couldn't resist looking up the fixtures, and it's I think Whitstable versus Hythe is March the 19th. So that's got to be a must see, hasn't it? That one.
Imagine the Sky cameras are headed down there.
Oh, absolutely. I was thinking maybe we should put a coach on or something. If we've got nothing better to do. I mean, what a game that'll be. I think just leave the ball in the middle of the centre spot and they'll all sit down. I think. Yeah. I've never seen. Yeah, I think just sort of picking small things out. Like Tom Chalmers just had the absolute run of the right-hand side. We sort of nominally played this 5 again, didn't we? And it was sort of like all those sort of things became irrelevant, really. Yeah, they just offered nothing.
Right.
I've never seen. I think I don't. Even in the time I've been going, I don't remember seeing a team offer so little.
Did anybody see on the other forum with I think his name's Hive Man, and he went on there, said there's a lot of bad things going on at Hive at the moment, and the kids in there that aren't really enjoying it playing, and they got a lot of youngsters, and you can see that the youngsters that were on that pitch on Saturday, they seem to be having a problem with the older players. They weren't getting
there's
encouraged.
no that number 5 wasn't a youngster.
No, it was once.
It's not great at Hive. I mean, I follow them a bit closer. They're walking distance from where I live, and it's a strange atmosphere there. There's a lot of yes, it's bad at Hive, but it's someone else's fault. Bit old school non-league. I think it's the sort of thing that's happened at Hastings before.
Yeah.
But where we know we're lucky to be where we are, and maybe they are, county sort of league sized place, but there's smaller places that are in this division.
It wasn't so many years ago, was it, that they were county league? But
what do you want to do? I mean, they've got a nice stadium.
Yeah, they have. Yeah.
I think it's one of the nice ones, apart from that one end, really. But it is pretty nice. They've got a nice clubhouse. It's in a good location in their town. I know their town's very elderly, but that's a lot of expendable income. Yeah. They got lots of things. They're by the sea. There's a lot of things that are attractive about that club. It just seems to be they don't take any away fans really. People don't really seem to populate their bar, and they're not bringing in money like that. And it just, I don't know. When you see comments from people that run their club, it's just, I don't know. It's a shame to see, because I feel like a club there could be good, and you can't just blame loads of people going to watch Folkestone play for you not having attendances. It's a bit odd. We're getting loads visit, obviously 1,000 plus every week, but then Bexhill are getting over 400 on occasion. So it's a shame, and obviously I don't really want them to disappear into the ether, because it's another decent football club near where I live, but it's just a bit of an odd one. Yeah, there's a lot of moaners on there, a lot of moaners. But we know about that.
Maybe there's fewer of those at the minute. They're short of money. Maybe with the being short of money and being tucked away down there, they might struggle to attract players out of area. So maybe they're relying on local players. I don't know. Maybe they've just got a small talent pool down there, which, as the standard goes up in our league, is really going to start to hurt you, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, they attracted Cisse for about 10 days. And now he's with us. So.
Yeah. Well, that's an interesting point, actually. Where was he? Was he ill, or I don't seem to think he was injured or anything, because he was just not. The fact that he wasn't even in the squad suggests maybe he was ill or off or something.
I don't know.
Malcolm, he's our spy. Malcolm, Cisse. Is he gone somewhere else? Has he gone?
I can't help you there. I don't know. I don't know anything about
I
it.
thought you were going to give us an exclusive there. A Malcolm
Sorry,
exclusive.
I'll find out for you, Chris.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What, in the next 5 minutes.
He's Arsene Wenger. You saw nothing.
I can try.
But it was a good. If he's going to miss a game because he had a prior commit, because these blokes have real lives as well. If he's going to miss a game, that was a game to miss, wasn't it? Because actually, Mr. Toomey, he definitely needs more games under his belt, doesn't he? Still, he'd got a few nice runs and crosses in second half.
He's got a good cross on him, hasn't he?
Yeah.
I was watching him a lot. I thought he looked quite good, actually.
So he got better as the game went on.
Yeah.
So,
I know it. Yeah, it was an easy game to sort of get your legs going again, wasn't
it? Yeah.
Ian, you got anything on the game?
Well, as everybody said, Hythe were terrible. It was like in the first minute, we'd kind of lofted a ball over their defence, and Ben Pope was straightening on goal. And you kind of thought, well, they're going to have to do something about that. And they
didn't.
Never bothered, really.
No.
Did Ben miss that deliberately so that Sammy Adams could score the first goal?
He looked so shocked that nobody was anywhere near him, and he had the ball. That, it's like time stood still and he put it wide. The one thing I did notice is one of the linesmen was called Billy Woods.
Oh, no wonder.
Which is like, obviously he's added the S to kind of throw people off the scent there.
Well, Billy Woods.
But I did think it sort of explained why when the referee went over and asked the linesman, he obviously got a very, very long-winded answer.
And we had Billy Wood telling us
all adds up. He would have gotten away with it if it wasn't for us meddling kids.
Subterfuge. Subterfuge.
Daughter's gymnastic competition. Yeah. Put the wig on, run the line, give decisions.
He was about a foot taller, though, wasn't he?
Come on, high heels on.
In platforms, he's in his 70s glam rock.
His platform predators.
Yeah. John, any thoughts? As in Will's?
I thought usually in those occasions with Sammy's 600 game, it's kind of leaning towards giving him the man of the match. But I really thought, based on his first half performance, he was quite dynamic. He was everywhere, so it was well deserved, and it was just nice to pick up a couple of goals like that. Dismal. I thought the new guy, Tommy Cooper, did pretty well. Second half, there were some, some lovely crosses across. A cross is a cross, isn't it? But it was a good. The scoreline was correct. I had a different angle, I suppose, from George, because I wasn't sure. I thought Ben was really clever in getting anywhere near that penalty decision. I thought, but obviously we didn't. From our angle, Chris, I don't think we saw the knee come out, did we? But he made sure he got there to.
I thought he had plenty of time to get out of the way of the keeper. Put it that way.
Yes. Yeah.
This is Ben Pope. He ain't getting out of the way of the keeper, is he?
No, I know.
If there's an opportunity to take the goal,
I think even from where we were sat, we could see he wasn't going to get up until the referee had made his decision with the linesman. It was like modelling himself on the Egypt goalkeeper, I think, after what I saw last night. And that was the only thing about watching the Senegal-Egypt game. The one thing about watching that was it made Saturday's game look brilliant. So that was...
Yeah, he was writhing about on the floor like his appendix had exploded, or like Robbie in the cowshed the other week. But it was a good 3 points. The stand of the team was poor. Usually you've got one or two runners that are going to have some pace and going to threaten, but they had nothing to offer really, did they?
No, not at all.
Wendy, have you given your thoughts? Otherwise, I'll go over to Malcolm. Wendy, have you got any?
No, just the same as everyone else, really. I thought the third goal was well worked for Dixon. I know it was, still it was a bit of an easy tapping, but it was a good build-up.
Very nice ball across by James Hart.
Worth a mention for friend of the show, James. It was it was a proper league debut for him, wasn't it?
Wow.
I know he's come on a sub and that sometimes.
Yeah, probably
his first start, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So again, probably a nice game for him to get better in. I felt a bit sorry for him with his overhead kick hit the fat bloke on the line.
Oh, was that his? Was that a handball? I couldn't tell from where I was. Was that a
No.
handball?
I think
If Robbie says it's not a handball, well,
Right.
there was too much belly there. That was.
He was filling the goal, wasn't he? Yeah, unfortunate.
Quite a good chance he put over the bar as well, wasn't it? Wasn't there?
Oh yeah, he scooped that one. Yeah.
I take it that Ben Pope was taken off just to give Kenny a bit of a run out, was it? He wasn't injured, was he? Nobody knows.
I think he'd taken quite a few knocks. He was certainly carrying it. He was carrying a little ice pack when he was walking up and down the.
I tell you what, having played as a defender for most of my footballing life, not in a very high standard, must admit, Ben Pope is the player I would have hated to have marked. What a pain in the backside is he? Jesus Christ. Not even when he's got the ball, he's just like in someone's ear, chucking mud at the goalkeeper. I've seen him do it, and he's just, what a wind-up. Hats off, eh?
Remember last year we had that hilarious. You had him on the podcast, didn't he, Chris? He was the most mild-mannered, polite person. It was hilarious. We just couldn't reconcile the two people.
Based killer.
Yeah.
But,
I love watching it. It's just great. It's just brilliant.
Malcolm, your thoughts on the game?
Yeah, but I listened to it on the website. And,
Malcolm, just so because Adam was going to come on and talk the website. What was it like? What was the commentary like?
It was great, and it's great that comes on now for when I have to work. I can listen to it. and I've come on tonight to hear it, because at one stage there he said, oh, they're knocking the ball around at the back. Hythe were knocking the ball at walking pace, as you said earlier, and they were 3-0 down. And I thought, what is going on? Am I listening to the wrong station? Or, you know, if you're 3-0 down, do you knock it around at the back at walking pace? And it's just that I don't know. It just seemed a very strange game to listen to, and how Adam could actually commentate on something like that, I don't know. And at times it went very quiet, and I thought, do I refresh? And and I thought,
I wish Adam was here.
I know nothing was actually happening. It was like, oh, they're just kicking the ball from side to side. They're 3-0 down, and they're not really interested. And he'd suddenly appear again. I thought, oh no, I don't need to refresh. He's there.
He's there,
but nothing is actually happening. Oh, he's gone out as a throw into Hastings. And they've thrown it in, and and it'd go off again. I think, oh, what's happened? Who's got the ball? And it was like, oh, nothing's happened. They're still kicking it towards each other, and 3-0 down.
Well, that was the thing I was going to ask him if he was on, Malcolm, was that usually our lad Robbie there has been helping him out, you know, in terms of a team of two. And I think it would have been the perfect game for Robbie to have been there, because there was literally nothing to speak about, was there? You know, if you imagine doing that on your own, I mean, it's...
I know, and I think that's the problem. And you're right in what you say. If you've got somebody there, you can at least have a little bit of chat amongst yourselves and
keep yourself going,
and have something interesting to listen to, because he must have really struggled on Saturday. Like I say, it was difficult to listen to with him going there, just kicking the ball. If you don't know, if you listen to a Premiership and that when they're commentating, they know all the players, the opposition and that sort of thing, and they can actually say the names of who's kicking it around. But when you don't know the opposition, you only know your own side. And when the opposition are quite happy just to play it around at the back, you actually got nothing to commentate on. And you know, you're just saying, well, yeah, they're kicking it amongst themselves, and, you know, thanks for listening.
The trouble is, if Robbie had been up there, we wouldn't have got the penalty.
We got the penalty, yes.
Yeah, can't best of both worlds.
Yeah, that's it.
We had it all. Like 2 out of 3 ain't bad, is it? We had the linesman, Robbie.
Just one more thing on that, on the penalty incident, is that it was just wonderfully Hastings. You had the shithousery of Ben Pope going down and staying there. You had the dog's abuse that the keeper was getting, and him responding back as well. Us all at the liner, all at the ref, and then you look over, and what 2 Hastings players have stood over it, chirping at the keeper, chirping at the ref, Jack Dixon and Sam Adams, there every single time. And it just goes to show that you don't touch the Pope, the Pope touches you.
Oh, dear.
Just going on from what John was saying, John, I'm in agreement with you. You know, Ben Pope's an absolute nightmare to have on the pitch next to you, and he just channeling in your ear all the time, and just
it's like the other week.
Annoying.
The other week when he picked up the goalie's water bottle and emptied it twice in a game. Twice.
He did that for
Brilliant.
He did that for us behind the goal. He loved that, didn't he?
Fantastic.
Oh, that's funny that. Well, just I mean, we haven't really spoke too much about Sammy Adams. I mean, as we say, you know,
you couldn't have written.
He had a great half. I mean, that first goal, I thought that was a lovely little composed finish. And it's just a love. Two goals. He could have probably had a hat trick if he wanted it. I mean, the opposition was. I mean, I don't think even when they walked out there, I don't think they wanted to be out there. It's just.
You really would think that teams quite invariably, teams seem to enjoy playing in front of a few people, and we get teams raising their game. It's the first team we've had that's come and simply has not reacted to the situation they're in at all, was it? Because
rabbit in the headlights.
Yeah, I remember Malcolm, you said that Craig said he was bored at Ashford. So
Jesus Christ,
Christ knows what he was like on Saturday.
I haven't spoken to him, I must admit, but I quite imagine that's what he'll come back with. It was boring, you know. It's,
routine.
I think he probably just folded his kit up and put it straight back into the box, clean.
I don't think it needed washing. I don't.
Maybe Malcolm, you could have actually swapped for him for the day. You could have played, and he could have done your job.
I think I could have played.
We won't go too far with that, John, will we?
Really chuffed for Sammy on Saturday because how many non-league players have got to 600? Not that many, especially. I mean, he's even like I said last week, he had 2 seasons away at least. Right in the bang of when we had that FA Cup run up to Middlesbrough, so that must have hurt him not being able to do that. Yeah. But he stuck with us 600 games.
And you got to think of how few games you miss.
Yeah.
To add those games up over the years, you know, at 40 odd games a year, you got just think how few games you miss to get to that number.
He still squeezes in a family holiday just before Christmas.
Yeah, he missed a few, didn't he, for a holiday? Where's he gone?
Yeah.
If you're a goalkeeper or something like that, you partly expect it, but when you're playing centre and midfield, to get that many games in with the amount you're putting your body through, it's incredible, really, that he's managed to do that.
Yeah, he's played keeper as well, has he? Though he's played keeper, he's played up top, he's played in the middle, he's played down the whole goddamn pitch.
Yeah, I've seen him right back as well. Yeah, he's a great player.
I mean, he's a hell of a competitor, isn't he? And it's sort of like to have somebody that senior in the squad who puts that much into the game, just really sets the bar for everybody else, especially because he's got a gob on him, so he'll let them know if they're not.
But apart from being what he's like as a player, but what a guy as well he is. He's a leader on the field. He's a leader off the field. He's just a great guy all round, and he family man. He's always got time for everyone else, and what a guy.
Yeah, his family were up there on Saturday as well. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, they're often there, but to see it for him, that's just been great. Yeah.
Nice touch.
His dad was a good player, by the way. His dad, Jim, is an excellent player. Locally, I don't think he played, Hastings standard, but he's Sussex Division 1. He was right there in the middle. Brilliant.
I thought his dad was Tony Adams.
Yeah.
Not the same one.
Not the one. His dad drinks as much as Tony Adams.
Oh, is it? Oh,
I know that for sure.
Any scenes after, boys, in the bar after anything?
All the players were going out for staff going out for meals, celebrating 600th appearance. So it was just a really good atmosphere and vibe by the club. Togetherness is really there. You can see they all care about each other. They're all mates. It's really good to see them. I'm really happy.
Yeah, I saw a picture of the mill, topless doors. That was a bit, a nice meal, perhaps.
Yeah, where'd they go in the end?
I don't know where it was.
Let's look forward to Sittingbourne. Now, one of the things that we could look forward to is Mr. Histed has guaranteed that he will be wearing women's clothing. His partner has said that she's going to do his makeup and his bra. So anyone listening, obviously, we all want to get down to Sittingbourne and watch that, let alone the fabulous football that our team plays.
Is he changing his name as well? Is he Gabby Histed or something like that?
Well, it's a good place to do it because North Kent is famed for its tolerance and acceptance of other people and cross-dressing and all that sort of thing. They love it up there. So it's that.
Love it up there.
Good on Gareth.
George, careful, George.
Dawsey's got another one for the 23s. They're 3-0 up. Second one for Dawsey. You might see him on Saturday.
Get him off now.
Getting some goals.
Yeah, let's hope he don't get injured again.
Get him off before he's injured. Yeah.
Right. Anyway, Sittingbourne. First of all, who's going?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Yep.
No.
Yeah.
You.
Yeah,
it's in the middle of nowhere, so
train and cab.
Train's a bit iffy. It's cab from the station. Yeah.
Yep.
Is it on the one of the industrial estates out? Because they used to play at the Grey.
It's not there anymore. Don't get caught up with that.
There anymore, John.
I did actually see them play at the Greyhound Stadium.
Oh no.
Yeah, they've lost that.
Billions of years ago, though.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's out at the science place now.
Yeah.
Not a bad little ground, but it's okay.
Well, I've got a mate who lives in Sittingbourne, so I'm actually trying to talk him into going to the game with us on Saturday. See if we can. I've been telling him about the club, so see if I can get him along to watch it and show him what the fuss is all about.
Excellent.
My fifth time. It's actually my most visited away ground for any club.
Really, mine's
Weird.
Burgess
Always
Hill.
end up being able to do it. When you get there, it's nice. For those who haven't been, who are wondering what it's going to be like, it's they've got a really good bar. If it's good weather, they've got a nice outside sort of beer garden that overlooks the pitch. They've got a few more benches than we got out the front. So yeah, it's covered at both ends. It's a nice place just in the middle of nowhere.
What's their current form like?
Yeah, I was just going to look that up.
Well,
mid-table, aren't they?
They're supposed to have this really good side. In fact, they supposedly compiled this squad. Other managers have been talking about them compiling a squad to get promotion. They've got all these players in, but it doesn't seem to have clicked yet. And you wonder when it's going to click. And hopefully, it's not Saturday.
Their form is they're 14th in the form league, 10th in the real league. So.
Yeah, mid-table. Funny enough, I don't know if I bored anyone with this when I was at the game on Saturday. I probably did bore a few of you, but I was chatting with the Sittingbourne Supporters Club chair, and he happens to live in Copenhagen, which is different. So I'm chatting to him for the podcast for this Thursday when it comes out, and he lives in Copenhagen, so that's different.
What the Germans last week. Well, we have actually got another. There's a guy called Bert who used to come over from Holland to watch us as well. So he's still very interested in us, but he just can't get over.
Okay.
Did this bloke from Copenhagen say the beer's cheap at Sittingbourne? So if he did, don't believe him.
Yeah, he did say his go-to beer. Yeah, and I'm going to check this. His go-to beer was Tuborg, and I called that out. Because Tuborg is...
Yeah.
Are we all agreed on that one?
Don't check the beer, check the hard drive, Chris. Check the hard drive. If that's
are we going?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, you're going shocking, to that level. All right.
Shocking point.
I didn't even know Tuborg was still going.
Yeah, I remember any gig you go to, and they always serve Tuborg up. And
I've never had it, to be fair.
You never had Tuborg?
No.
Nah, you've not missed anything.
Probably because they stopped making it about 10 years before you was born. What's left over at Sittingbourne.
It'd be interesting to see how much we swell their crowd as well, because I'm looking at their attendances. If I've got the right team here,
John Will's always talk about swelling, isn't he?
Herne Bay again.
Yeah. They brought people VCD Athletic, but roughly most of their games start with a 1 and only 3 figures. I think their highest attendance was 309 against Faversham. And that's, it's pretty grim. How
I don't know how anybody survives.
Money's coming.
They say they're noisy fans, but they oddly get a crowd, but the people that are there really get behind the team is what I've been told by someone who lives in Copenhagen.
Usually they do, but when we last went there on a Tuesday night, the weather was atrocious. It was some of the worst weather we've had, like driving rain.
It was horrible, wasn't it?
And they obviously it was good tops off weather, but their fans, there was hardly any one of them there. It was really odd because usually their fans are quite good and they travel away as well. But depends if the weather's nice, I suppose, if they turn up.
That's what I remember from last year: the pouring out of rain, and you, Robbie, taking your top off. All the guys, and it was the song. And Josh always, Craig's boy, Josh always sings, "Oh, if you support Hastings, I'll take your top off," and all. And you all standing there in the pouring out of rain with your tops off, and then it was take your shoes off, and you were nigh on naked in the pouring out of rain.
It's got to be done.
You can imagine if it rains on Saturday, you can imagine what Gabby Histed would be up to.
On a Tuesday night, it was absolutely lashing down. They got a tiny little stand behind one goal, and we sat right at the back of that trying to keep a little bit warm. And they were at the front with their tops off and shoes off and nigh on everything off.
I want to encourage Gary Histed now. Yeah.
I remember that one because I was in my clothes from work, actually, come straight from work. So yeah.
Do you remember it, George? Virtually
Yeah.
everything was off. We were laughing.
Yeah,
Me and
all off.
Josh were laughing. He said, "Should we take our tops off?" I said, "No, it's freezing." And they said, "Take your socks off, shoes off, socks off, and everything." Unbelievable.
Good times. Good times.
It's all right. We got Gary now to do that.
Yeah, we got it. Yeah.
Hmm.
He's a work in progress. Right.
I sponsor Andy to take part in it.
Who?
In the Mr. White, Lord White,
Yeah.
in the take your clothes off thing.
You want
I'd be
Andy
hurt-
to take
I'd
his clothes off? Go on.
I'd be hypothermic in seconds.
It's all right. He'll buy you a coffee.
One advantage, their skin is waterproof, I guess. So there's probably no harm in taking all your clothes off if it's
I think we
pissing.
have found that many a time. You actually stay dry. You take your top
Yeah,
off.
exactly.
quite easy to dry your skin and you put the
Skin
shirt back
dries
on.
out.
Yeah.
We do it for health reasons.
Yeah.
And the
Exactly.
man there, that Damar all-in-one suit isn't waterproof.
I should become in a frogman's suit.
Right, chaps. So we what are we thinking about the game? I'm thinking comfortable win.
Yeah.
4-0.
yourselves.
Easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
4-0. 3-1
That's it.
win.
3-1.
We'll give
Ian?
them a goal as they're at home.
Give him a
I don't
goal,
do
Andy.
predictions.
Yes,
I'm
give
much
him a
too
goal.
superstitious for predictions.
What? Do you feel good or you're a bit nervous?
See, that's just asking me the score, but in a different way, Chris.
Yeah.
Not falling for that.
Oh, okay.
He's waiting for the Sue Gray report.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
What yourself, Wills, what do you reckon? Win?
Well, you'd like to think so, would you? But
That hair's winning. We know what
I-
hang on. We've not commented before we finish this. We need to comment on John's hair again. Right. So John, if you could just show the camera. We need to have a look at it.
what are you
The
up
hair.
to?
The
Grown
hair.
again.
He doesn't want to go like that. It might come off. That's it.
You know, you just comb it up from under your armpits, as I said, and up your nose. It grows quite abundantly. But what I was saying, that these games, I away to sitting board. The trouble is now when we have a game like we've just had on Saturday, there is the
Fired
right
up.
complacency, and you know where do you go with that? You know, we think we should be beating them with some ease, looking at their table position and form guard. But yeah, there's always going to be, we're always going to slip up, I think.
Hmm.
Sort of sitting ball.
No, we've got a tough one in a couple of weeks, haven't we? Chichester away.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not going to be easy.
Big away trip plan though. I'll take quite a few for a long trip. I reckon it'll be good fun. I've not done Chichester before.
Is that our longest trip in this league?
I believe so. I could be wrong
Yeah,
about that.
it is, yeah.
What will be our longest trip if we go up, when we go up at the end of the season?
Good question. Well delivered. I'm not actually
Mm.
sure. But there's some research. There's some homework for the next podcast.
Yeah, homework. There you go.
There are a few local matches when you look at that division above, aren't there?
But there's
But
going to be a game that gets George sacked when we get Folkestone away, because let's face it, he won't behave himself. So
yeah, it's going to be quite interesting, isn't it? A bit more mileage, I think.
There's quite a few Sussex teams, aren't there? No, there's Lewis. Are they?
Whirling.
Oh, we're getting ahead of ourselves, Ian. I'm getting jittery now with this talk.
No.
I think if Ian's suspicious about the score, he'll be on the verge of fainting now.
Absolutely. It's tempting fate on a grand scale. It's really
is.
very unwise.
If we fail, it's your lack of ambition that cost us. That's what I'm saying. 'Cause
All
you,
talk of
your
promotion
doubt
is
got to the
banned.
team and made them lose. So it'll actually be your fault. So
It's only fair. I mean, it's only fair, isn't it?
Thinking if you were to have such a pessimistic outlook, you know, if the teams below us win all their games, you've got about 5 teams on 50 points, haven't you? Say they were to win their games, they still got to win them. But there's you know, when you think about it, 1 or 2 bad results and it gets interesting. Game.
what you're saying is we're not going to make the playoffs.
I think
That's what
we're
it
safe
sounded
from
like.
relegation yet.
Yeah.
I think we'll be above the relegation zone. I'm quite confident in
To be
that.
fair,
Okay,
lads,
that's
the
good.
county leagues can be quite fun. There's good away days there.
go down a
I
league.
don't know where this is going. We were going up, now we're going down. What the hell?
I just
Yeah,
got to ask.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Got to ask John. John, got to ask you about Henry Mancini.
Oh, yeah. That was-
You got to
Go
tell
on.
it now. You got to tell it.
well, I mentioned about this Barnet game and about this Henry Mancini that was on the opposition then. He was an ex-Arsenal player, so I thought, but he turns out, what does he sing? He's
Yeah. It was Terry Mancini. Wasn't it?
Yeah, I thought it was Terry Mancini.
Yeah, rather than the
Greavesy down.
Pink Panther composer.
I was going to say, I thought it was a sort of musician of some kind.
He is.
Yeah.
It is
Yeah.
John, though. Come on.
It's fantastic. I was really laughing at that when I saw that. I thought, oh my god.
Mind you, even then it was before he retired. He had a Pavarotti haircut, didn't he?
Similarities are
Yeah,
astounding at the moment,
Yeah.
John.
You don't see many bald centre halves anymore, do you? That's a sort of a bit of a throwback, that, isn't it?
Steve Bold is the last one I can think of the top of my head.
Abstam.
Of course.
Yeah.
Maybe Chiesa, who plays for Italy. I'm trying to think, is he
Bald?
is
Yeah,
he
he's
bald, or has he just got it all shaved off?
Frank LeBeouf, but that's going back a bit, isn't it?
West Brown lost his hair for a bit. It's a new game. It's named
Yeah, there we go.
There you go.
Baldies.
You watch. The back
Bald
four
leather.
on Saturday for Sittingbourne will all be bald now. Wait and see.
Yeah. In fact,
That number five was-
Hyde's centre
Hyde's-
half,
yeah.
bald, wasn't he? The fat bloke.
Yeah, that's true.
He had,
Fat bloke.
he had the lot. He had the
Fat
lot.
bloke.
Yeah, but he ain't getting my ball 11.
No.
Nah.
Javier Bartes keeper.
Just one thing about the sitting board, just had a look, and like they gave us a really good game in the home game. We won 2-1, didn't we? And they went down to 10 men. It turns out they had this bloke on loan called Achium Pong from Hungerford Town.
Bless you.
And yeah, thank you. And had a look. He came for 6 games, got 5 goals, and in that time, Sittingbourne only scored 6. He scored 5 of their 6 goals,
I mean,
and then went back, and he scored against us. He's not there anymore. That was a month loan.
That's what
But,
Brothers Hill did to us. They got a really good goalkeeper,
Yeah.
beat us to their
Yeah.
goalkeeper. The team
Yeah.
just get one player on loan to beat us, and they piss off back.
and then they
Yeah.
lose.
Yeah.
But we'll see. Yeah,
It's
I don't think
tough.
it'll be easy at all. Don't think it'll be easy.
No.
Maybe Malcolm and John, with thinking of the main stand crew. Do you remember when they used to have to pay 50p to sit in the main stand?
Yeah, I do. No. There used to be a separate gate to get into that. You couldn't even go through.
Yeah.
It's like a turnstile.
So we milk some money out of the main stand. Has any idea, any thoughts on that?
I don't know. There was
For
definitely.
sandwiches, literally.
I definitely remember
50p.
there was a separate turnstile. It was near the entrance to the director's bar, that little side alleyway. It was there, right, like a gate right across. So if you was at the Cold Warren end, which wasn't there then, and you wanted to go back to in the first half, you had to go around the other way. You couldn't go through. Mind you, that the Cold Warren end used to be Stinging Nettle, so you weren't out there anyway. So
So,
Wayne wouldn't have been with his shorts on, Stinging Nettle.
yeah. Do you remember when, as well, they built a secondary stand down the cowshed end?
Oh yeah, where the big
When-
Hastings United sign is.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, it was all clay, very slippery inside.
And of course, I'm just thinking of the future when we revitalise the pilot field. I'm thinking about it. The bank used to be tiered, and for big games, you used to have quite a crowd, didn't you?
Yeah, it did, yeah, on that bank.
You mentioned that, John. You're into monetising the whole bloody thing. That mentioned.
He's a
many of
filthy
this here,
capitalist, he is.
We
Yeah.
thought, we talked about this very briefly because we're having to get there earlier and earlier to get where we've always sat in the main stand, to get a non-obstructed view of the bloody goals. We're having to get there earlier than is reasonable, just to save some bugger nicking our
Yeah.
seats. So you could actually get to the stage where you could charge people an extra 50 quid or something to actually bag see a seat in the main stand. If it starts getting really popular,
Keep the riff-raff out. Is that
well,
basically?
no,
what you're saying?
no. You can have
classic stuff.
You could sit wherever you like in the main stand, but if you wanted to, you could.
But
pay
not in my
a
seat.
little bit of extra for.
On my seat.
I'll tell you a little story. My dad, because when he reached, I think it's 55 years of going up there, one of the directors, I can't remember his name, it's Martin, his surname. I can't remember his first name. Anyway, he arranged for my dad to have his own chair. The sticker is still there. So if you want to go along there, Andy, just pretend you're Tony Gale and then kick him out. My dad would be pleased with that, even though he's looking down from up there.
Yeah. Oh, nice one. Yeah, well, so like the Matt Busby chair.
Yeah, so it's just as you go up the middle steps, turn right a little bit, and it's about 5 along. I think seat number 64, I think it was.
Yeah, no, I mean, if it keeps on like this, they could actually, allocate a few seats. Yeah, leave most of them as a free for all. That's fine.
Yeah.
Corporate main stand, eh, boys?
Tell you what,
the Royal
Sponsor
Box.
team. Yeah,
I was
get in the box.
I actually stood on the other side this week, just below the grass bank. Bloody hell, was that cold? I've forgotten how cold it is on that side. I think I might be back in the stand soon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Forget what I said about my dad's seat. I'm having it.
No, it's probably fine. It just reminds me, it always used to be, this is in the mid-70s, always used to be, it seemed to be the fog descended.
Oh, yeah.
My memories of the game, because of the speedway track, you're far away, and you can just see this outline of Mickey Westburn now throwing punches in the centre circle. There was always a scrap, wasn't there?
Always, yeah.
Yeah.
Blood amongst the sawdust.
Yeah, on that rather strange note.
I'm sure you can get 20 minutes out of this.
Yeah. Yeah. Good luck, Chris.
Yeah.
That's why he's moved it to Mondays. It gives him longer.
Yeah.
Oh, big dilemma next Monday, Valentine's Day. That's going to test a few people, isn't it?
Well, yeah. I'm married with kids, so Valentine's doesn't really exist anymore.
No.
Right.
I'll probably just go through. I'll be going through my full repertoire of stretching exercises and limbering up at this time. I would have thought.
Be nice knowing you, Chris.
We don't want to know about your
we gone, Chris.
Yeah, we'll see you next Tuesday then.
But that's what I'm going to get called. Yeah. Listen, gents, an absolute pleasure as ever. Thank you, Wendy, John, Ian, Robbie, Andy, Johnny Wills, Malcolm, and the lovely George. Thanks for coming on.
Just on that note, before you leave, I asked a question, and I got back. I can't divulge any information because you're on the round table. Your editing is so poor, Chris. I cannot give you any information. He's found out, hasn't he?
Oh dear. But there you go. See,
he's found out.
The source is deep throat. It's just not.
Deep throat.
It hasn't worked.
Deep throat. We're back on Valentine's Day again now.
Enough of what's on Chris's mind.
Yeah.
Well,
see you next week.
We don't want to go there. 5 kids. Yeah. Anyway, yeah.
See you at the game.
See you at the game.
See you at the game, chaps.
See you later.
Cheers, guys. Take care.
See you later. Bye.
Yeah.
Bye.